All right. Howdy, howdy. Hello there, Jeremy. I got you loud and clear. How are you, my friend?
Yeah, Tommy. We are rocking out, son. Rocking out and snacking out.
We were rocking out.
Absolutely. Hey, guys. Welcome back
Me a sucker because I
to
am.
the podcast. Glad to have you. Hey, yeah.
It's good to see everyone. Good to see everyone.
Happy Hump Day. Absolutely.
Hey, Jeremy.
Guys, do us a favor real quick. Go down there to the bottom of the screen. If you're on Facebook, click share and share this out to the other Facebook groups. We appreciate you. Tony, my man, what's up? Tommy, Ben, hey, Clint, Pristine, Scott, Charles in the house.
Charles in charge.
Charles, such a nice
guy. Of my days and of my nights. He's all right. I mean, he'll do in a pinch.
Yeah.
Tony Durant, Tommy Blaine, Jason Tippett, Oscar. So good to see everyone. If you are a Facebook user, Jeremy, tell us how to become an actual visible member of the podcast tonight.
So, if you're a Facebook user, are you saying how? Are you talking about if they're just showing up as Facebook user?
Yeah.
Oh, it's easy. We can't see who you are. Yeah. Okay. Hey, if you're this guy right here, Facebook user, we want to say hey. So we're saying hey. We don't know who you are. Go to the link right above this description or in the description of this video, and it'll say, hey, give StreamYard access to your profile or something along those lines. And all that does is give them access to show your name while we're talking to you, so we know who we're talking to. Most of everybody has done it.
Yeah, easy.
I think after 14 weeks, I think a lot of people's figured it out. But we still have new people jumping on, and we're glad to have you.
Yep. Scott Blair. Scott Blair, just let me know. I'm glad to help, my friend. Thank you very much in advance.
Hey, by the way,
we've got an amazing topic for you.
We can get Scott up here. Hey, hang on, where's that? I think I'm hitting it and you're hitting it. So, hey, Scott is another fellow Kentuckian. And if you guys, hey, Scott, if you still got that flatbed, that cabin chassis, let me know. But Scott's got a great deal on I think it's a 19 model cabin chassis truck. If you're looking to get a flatbed, get it with Scott. He's got a nice truck, and all you really need is a few little things and a flatbed, and you're ready to roll. Yes, he's still got it. Hit him up, guys. Scott's a good dude. Be willing to work with you there. Hit him up on that. Anyways, sorry about that, Mike. What's up?
Hey, I'm used to it. Hey, Jeremy, while I talk about our topic and why I just kind of introduce it, throw up our Venmo and Cash App, if you would, please. And any of you guys who want to contribute, feel like that what we're going to offer tonight is worthy donation, we'd certainly accept it if you feel like it's got some value. We are grateful, and we'll say that in advance, and we'll continue to say it on and on and on, that we're grateful for donations. All the donations I'm in, whether it is for my channel or Jeremy's, goes back into the podcast. And it helps. We buy things like the microphone, and we pay for the StreamYard access, things of that nature. All of that goes back into it. And then we meet every Wednesday night, mostly like work, and again, offer as much value as we can. Tonight, we have, I believe, an interesting subject. It's not intended to be, but it's really not as hard or as difficult as it may seem. And the subject is how to get your SH for free. And we're going to talk about that here in just a few moments. We also have other things to discuss. We'll be answering any questions as best we can as in live and in color here on the podcast. We have another segment called WWJD. What would Jeremy do? I have a doozy for you tonight, Jeremy. You're going to have a lot of fun with that. You have to put on your antenna and your thinking cap on the ball. I mean off the cuff. and, and we're going to have a great time. At the end of every podcast, we close out in prayer, and I believe it's my week because Jeremy laughed his way through it, if at best I remember. And we'll try not to make a mockery of it tonight. But because we offer up prayer at the end throughout the broadcast or the podcast or the show, then you can give prayer requests, and we'll be sure to mention those at the end, at least to the best of our ability. Tommy said that I was freezing up. Am I okay?
You were.
Okay.
Actually, Mike's just
All right.
talking that way to throw you off.
Again, if you have questions,
so
that's right.
Whoever this is, click that link. We want to know who you are.
Yeah, click the link.
Talk to you. Click the link up above. Yeah.
Hey, do this, guys. In the comment section, tell us what city and state you live in. Do that for us tonight. We have another opportunity for commenting here in just a moment. But right now,
give us your city and state and how much SH costs per gallon. Let's see
that's exactly what I was going to say. You read my mind, young Jeremy.
Yeah.
Florida.
The way.
Tommy's from Illinois. That's right. Another
Six
Illinois in the house. Wilmington, North Carolina. Fort Wayne, Indiana. Ooh, 576. Dang. 6 gallons in Massachusetts.
Knoxville. Who is this? I want to know who you are. Come on. Click that link up above. That way we know who we're talking to. Give StreamYard access. Bunch of you guys. Boys coming through now. I can't even keep up with the comments.
Well, those Massachusetts, those New England guys are paying a lot for SH.
They are. Hey,
Jeremy, how much are you paying for? How much are you paying?
So my last delivery was $3.30 a gallon. When I spoke to him on the phone about that delivery, he said your next delivery, he said it's probably going to be $2.90 to $3 a gallon. It's actually going down for me.
Good for you. Good for you.
Yep.
There's Aaron Bittner. Yeah, we see you, buddy. Thank you.
I got you, Aaron.
Thank you, Aaron.
There we go. I thought, well, there's a handful of, I won't say a handful, but there's several Knoxville people. I wasn't real sure who that might be. Nathan, give it access. Click the link.
It's a high market in New England, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jeremy, before I ask you the question, what would you do? Let me tell you about my day. Myself and Squirt, we had 3 opportunities on the day, 3 house washes, and 2, mark it down, it's a record for the Fresh, 2 in-person estimates. Can we get a round of applause? Nailed them both. Jeremy asked me if I nailed them.
Killing.
Jeremy asked me if I
froze.
Did I freeze up?
You're good now.
Am I?
Yeah,
Okay.
You're good now.
Ask me if I closed my in-person estimates.
Did you close your in-person estimates?
Well, I showed up, didn't I? I went to the in-person estimates. Of course, I closed them. Let me tell you what I did. See this right here? See this?
Yeah.
I put this on. It's called the Fresh Rinse Charm. And of course I closed it. So I got to tell you, man, the wind, if you didn't watch my latest video afternoon, the wind was easy. We had a tornado warning while washing, and that was at our first wash. It began to hail. Sirens were going off. We jump in the truck, all bundled up and ready to go. And I said to Squirt, let's go do 2 more, baby. Let's go do 2 more. She said, I'm cold. I said, let's go do 2 more.
Let's
And
go.
so we did. And then I went to do an in-person estimate. Local high school needs their dugouts washed.
Shoot.
So that sounds like a fun one.
That does sound like a fun one. It most definitely sounds like a fun one. So that's more of a.
Tell me what you did today, Jeremy.
What did I do today?
Mm-hmm.
I've kind of take it easy, Mike. I haven't done a whole lot today. Not much. I had some phone calls for some estimate request, so I got that kind of got that taken care of. What else did we do? Oh, we went and looked at a dealership's window cleaning. They want it priced inside and out. While I'm not really an inside guy on window cleaning, this was a little bit different because it's a dealership. It's not a house, which leads to the future potential of other jobs. So we did that. We were getting calls up to probably 30 minutes before I hopped on here with Mike about estimates. So we got a lot of stuff in the pipeline, guys. It's going real good. This has been busiest start of the season for us so far in our history. So can't complain.
Nice.
Yeah. Zach, no, I'm not working in snow tomorrow.
You're right, Charles.
I'm actually going to Red River Gorge tomorrow.
Ooh. Taking the fan.
Yeah, and it's supposed to snow, and we're staying in a cabin, so who knows? There's a hot tub.
Oh wow! Well, good for you. Good for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Taylor Hayes said he had 5 in-persons yesterday, 5 booked, but 3 hours of driving around. Yeah, that's the negative. That's the negative to the in-person quotes. I have done more in-person quotes this year than I can remember doing, and not really because I want to. They just kind of, people are like, I'd really like to see you. Would you come out and take a look around? I'm like, yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, Joe Deary killed it in March. That's right, Eric.
Yes.
Time for WWJD. This is the section, or the segment rather, where that I asked Jeremy an impromptu question about what he would do in a given scenario. Now, Jeremy has not heard this scenario, nor has he heard the question. And so this is all off the cuff. This is improv for Jeremy. Now, normally when I ask the question, it's something negative. You know, Nancy decided that she didn't want to pay. You know, it's usually something negative. Nancy parked her car in the driveway and you're supposed to wash it, but she's home, or something of that. Not this one's more positive, Jeremy. So
yeah,
this one will put a smile on your face. Happy about this one. My friend Jeremy, let me ask you a question. You have a helper, or as we call it, a technician.
Yeah.
And the technician doesn't do as much work as you do. Like it might even be scheduled that way. You may have it systematically positioned in that way that you do the bulk of the work. But you get a sizable tip from the customer. Do you tip your technician as well who's on site?
You froze up on me.
Shot.
You cut out. I heard it. Do I give what?
If you got a tip from a customer,
yeah,
do you split that or share that with your technician?
I split it. We were there.
You do?
That's just me.
Huh. Wow.
Yep. Yep.
Guys, answer that question in the comments. Do you get a tip? Do you share it? Do you split it like evenly? Or do you keep all of it?
People over
You're
profits.
doing most of the work. That's okay. Okay. But you're doing most of the work.
Well,
So do you split the ticket or the tip rather?
I'm the owner. No one's going to do as much work as me.
Okay. Let's see. A lot of guys are saying split, but is it a 50-50 split? Everybody's splitting it.
There you go. There you go.
Last
That's right.
time I got tipped, customer handed a $100 bill to my helper. Wow, nice.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
So, as you know, most of the time when I ask one of these questions, Jeremy, 75-25,
Yeah.
I like Arnie Ryder. That's my best buddy right now. These questions come out of experience. Now, it's not uncommon for me to get it. I will get a tip from time to time.
Yeah.
But now that Squirt is on the truck or on the trigger and she's in the field with me, it just seems like we're getting an abundance of tips and some large tips. For instance,
Nice.
Let's see. I think it was Monday. We got a power tip.
You got how much?
That's $100.
Okay.
A $100 tip.
Yeah.
We have gotten $50 tips, and then I've had a customer say, "I want you to give this to your helper," and gave me a $10 bill to give to the helper. Now, obviously, I'm going to do that. But like when that lady gave me $100, do I have to split it with Squirt? I want to know. You guys comments, tell me. Squirt is my daughter who's helping me, Nathan.
Yeah.
My 19-year-old daughter's helping me. She's killing it, man. She's killing it. We actually had our first tandem wash today, Jeremy, where that opportunity we had today, all the concrete herself while I washed the house. She had a full driveway, walkway, front porch, and patio. She did it all. The second job we had today, Derek says, give her the $100. I don't like you, Derek, at all. The second opportunity we had today, I did the soaping of the house. She did the rinse. Now,
Okay.
I will tell you, she did a fantastic job, but I did have to go back afterwards, and there were a couple of window ledges, brick ledges that had some moss growing on them, and it was still there. So I had to go back, and I had to clean that up. So, do I tip the whole? Do I give her $50? $50. I don't know, man.
Well, there's no wrong or right answer. Technically,
Well, good.
it's different for everyone's business.
Good.
There's no right or wrong answer. I don't know. I guess we're just waiting to figure out what did Mike do.
Okay, I'll let. Yeah, WWMD.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. If we get a tip, thus far I have been splitting it 50-50. 50-50. 50 for the fresh, $50 for squirt. And then I got to tell you this story, Jeremy.
Yeah.
So today she got a $25 bonus today. Would you like to hear how she got a $25 bonus?
I would.
Okay. So we're walking around the side of a vinyl house. And I don't know if you've ever seen this before, Jeremy, but there was a ripple. The vinyl was rippled on the side of the house, just ever so slightly rippled. And I asked her, I said, what do you think that's from? She said, I don't know. I said, well, here's what I'm going to do. I said, if you can tell me what that rippling effect in that vinyl is from, I'm going to give $50. I said, and I'm going to give you the whole wash to figure it out. So if the wash took an hour, she had an hour to figure this out. We washed, and she had no idea. I didn't tell her what it was, but what it was the neighbor's house had a window that the sun was reflecting off of, and at a certain part of the day, melt the vinyl on their house. So I don't know if, nope, it wasn't a grill. That's a great suggestion, Tommy, but it was actually way up high, second story. And it was the neighbor's window was causing reflection onto the vinyl. It was causing it to ripple and kind of melt. Well, at the end of the wash, I said, let's go back and we're going to see if you know what the answer is. And she said, I don't know, Dad. She said, it's not the chemical. She said, maybe water damage. She said, I thought maybe it was the sunlight. Dang it. She actually got it. I said, okay. Well, I explained that it was the neighbor's window. Sunlight was hitting the neighbor's window, bouncing off, reflecting off, and melting the vinyl on the house. And so because she got the sunlight part right, I gave her $25. So go squirt.
Okay. Way to go. Way to go. I have.
Here's a good question. On your tandem job, the back patio, the customers left the furniture out. Do you move it or clean around it? And if you move it, do you charge? What we normally do, TJ, is we will move it out of the way, like to one side of the patio or the deck, and we'll wash. Then we'll move it back and wash. Rarely do we move it completely off of the patio or the deck. And in case we don't charge, we just move it. I would encourage you to charge, and I would encourage you not to move it. But this is a do as I say, not as I do kind of a thing. Yeah, we don't charge for furniture, not at this point.
I even have it in my terms and conditions that if it's not moved and we have to move it, we charge. You know how many times I've actually charged someone to move furniture? I never.
Right.
I tell you, one thing I will not move is flower pots and plants. I don't move those.
Right.
I moved one time, and this thing looked like it was from the 70s, and it fell apart.
Yeah.
And then when it fell apart,
Yep.
the customer fell apart. So,
oh boy.
After she asked me to move it, she said, "Can you move that?" Yeah, I can move that. And it's just the bottom went out of it. So it's like, I did what you asked, and then you're mad. So I move no fire plots for nobody anymore. So
yeah,
I
move it to one side of the patio. Tommy says I move it to one side of the patio. I do a lot of elderly people, and I don't charge. Yeah, I don't charge stuff. Again, I encourage you to charge, and I encourage you not to move it. For the sake of what Jeremy just said there, if things break, then we at least feel a certain responsibility and maybe even are responsible. But in the case today, you can go back and watch my video. It's just furniture. It's just cruddy furniture. Nothing worth anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, if there's a lot, I I'm not moving it. If it's just like a rocking chair and something real simple, or nothing crazy. When I say nothing crazy, I mean 3 or 4 things. I scoot it over, I move, I go on about it. But if it's a lot of stuff, it just gets wet. I don't care. They knew.
Guys, in the comments, that's right. In the comments, tell us: do you charge to move furniture?
Yeah, absolutely.
What about dog poop?
I mean, there's a lot of landmines around here, but I'm not one of those guys where I'm upcharging you because you have crap in your yard. Like I have probably got dog crap at my yard, so.
I've been to your yard. There's crap all over the place.
It's because you were here.
Well, I stepped in that. Oh, you're getting your money's worth tonight, guys. You're getting your money's worth. Jeremy, how do we get our SH for free? You just said you pay for it. How do you get it for free?
Oh, well, I should say that the customer pays for it. Just as in everything we do, the customer pays for, because the customer pays for everything, essentially. Yeah. The customer pays for your labor, pays for your overhead, pays for your meal at dinner, pays for your fuel in your truck, for your machines, for your equipment. The customer pays for everything. That's why you need to be charging accordingly, so you can stay in business. Boom. That was a lame answer. What do you mean that was a lame answer? You're lame.
I think he's just speaking in general. Whenever you and I talk, it's lame. So, well, I'm going to be a little bit more specific. I'm going to be a little bit more specific here. It is the topic. It is the topic of our conversation tonight as to how do we get SH for free. Well, we threw that up there somewhat as a clickbait, but the fact of the matter is, the customer pays for everything. And before someone chimes in and says, that's not fair, that's not right, well, I tell you, it's always been that way. It's like that in every culture. It's like that in every type of political system. The customer pays for everything. So more specifically, if you really want to get technical about it, as I do, now I get real technical about my upcharges, about my increases in cost. So let's say that a yard sign costs $5. We're just going to throw that number out there. Yard sign, $5. And I've had guys who buy yard signs from me, and like, wow, $500 cost is for 100 signs. Like, well, you got to consider something. First of all, one job that you get from one sign is likely to pay for all the signs.
Yeah.
2 jobs absolutely will pay for all signs, for all 100 signs, the stakes, shipping, everything. And I've got a couple of golden nugget places where I put signs every year, and I know that I'm getting calls from those signs. They tell me, but then it's like I can stick the sign in that one location, and almost before I get back to my truck, the phone is ringing. I know that sign is paying for itself. But now, when it comes to the customer paying for it, you have to think in those terms that if you really think that $5 a sign is a lot, then all you have to do is say, well, you don't actually say it, but it would look something like this. Nancy, The house wash is not $450, it's $455, right? We wouldn't say that. We don't actually say that, but that's how it's done. If you increase it, the amount of the sign. We're talking about SH, Jeremy. So if SH is $4 a gallon, let's just say I saw some that were 6, I saw some that were 3. We're going to say SH $4 a gallon, and you know that it's going to take 5 gallons to wash that 2-story house. That's $20. You have to add that to the cost of the house wash. When you price it, you don't itemize it. You don't write it in the blank. It doesn't say chemical cost on the actual quote or estimate, but you factor that in, because if you don't, then you go throughout the whole wash and washes plural, feeling like you're out of pocket $20, when in fact it was the customer who was supposed to pay for that to begin with.
Right. Makes sense.
John Hall asked the question, Mike, where's the best place in our area to buy chemicals? John, I apologize. I'm assuming that you're in the 513 or 937 wash area. If that's the case, Miami Products in Dayton, Ohio is where you can pull up, and in bulk, they're going to swing a big hose right over top of your tank, and they're going to dump it in there, and it takes about 20 seconds. And you're going to pay a little over $4 a gallon for that out the door.
I think he said he was in Northern Kentucky.
Okay, well, that's pretty good ways to go. You're probably not going to drive that far, John.
You're probably looking at Sitco Water.
There may be some.
Is that right, Mike?
Say that again, Jeremy.
Sitco Water. I know there's one in Lexington. Is there one in Cincinnati?
I don't think so. If there is, I don't know about it.
I tell you who would be a good person to ask, John. If you're on Facebook, there's several people up that way who would know. Ben Gregory would know. He may even be willing to sell you some. I'm not real sure. No, I'm not answering that for Ben. I don't know that. Let's see here.
So we have a question here, or a statement. It says you can only carry so much SH. I carry 90 gallons is what I carry.
Just for reference on that thing, there is a Sitco Water, and it is in Hebron, Kentucky, which is outside of Burlington, Fort Mitchell, pretty much right on the river. John, check them out, Sitco Water. So, who was talking about the carrying what? How many gallons?
I just threw it up there for you.
Oh, yeah, there's a legal answer to that question. It's based off weight, I believe, is it not? It's like what, like 109 gallons or 100 gallons or something like that. 110, something like that.
I do believe it's 110. I think you can have 2 55-gallon drums.
Yeah, someone says 119 is illegal. DOT. I'm gonna go with Charles on this. Charles is just wise.
He's in charge.
Charles in charge. Trap baby. Yeah.
Step further. Let's take it a step further.
Let's go.
Not just your SH, not just your yard signs. Those are the small things. But a couple of years ago, at the end of 2 seasons ago, I was kind of hot after a mini Mondo. I wanted a mini Mondo, Jeremy. I've had a 19-inch Whisper Wash for a number of years, and it gets the job done.
Yep.
but I wanted a 10 GPM machine and I wanted a mini Mondo.
Yep.
And I had it, by God's grace, I had the money in my business account. I could have went out and bought that equipment. But instead, what I waited for a job to come along that would make me feel better about spending $1,800 for a mini Mondo.
Yep.
And the local Mercedes-Benz dealership called me up. They said, we want all of our concrete washed on the property. And I said, I know a guy. So I bid concrete wash. It was a 1 day of washing, and I bid it for $2,300.
Yeah.
I did that intentionally, $2,300.
I know what that is.
And with that $2,300, I paid $1,800 for a mini Mondo, and I walked around Mercedes dealership pushing it, and they gave me a $500 bill. That's what it looked like at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So I looked at it, and this is my whole point. It's a mindset. It is a mindset. The Mercedes-Benz dealership bought me a mini Mondo for $1,800 and then paid me $500 to push it all day long. And since then, I have washed driveway after driveway after driveway with that mini Mondo free of charge. Now, let me rephrase that. I mean, it has paid for itself over and over and over and over again. You only pay for it once. And if the customer pays for it, that's even better.
Absolutely.
So the customer paid for my mini Mondo, gave me $500. And since then, I have been making money on top of money with the mini Mondo that the Mercedes-Benz dealership bought for me.
Yeah.
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 That's exactly right. Look at that. $500 to show it off.
Mike's over strutting around looking
it's a
pretty for
mindset.
$500.
That's right. I had my earbuds in. I was just walking around like this, waving at people. So it's a mindset, Jeremy. It's not about it's not literally about getting it for free. It's a mindset that you're not paying for the SH. When you get that mindset, Jeremy, you stop complaining about SH. You stop complaining about the cost of equipment. You stop complaining about the cost of advertising. When you factor that into your budget and let the customer absorb that, then you feel like everything else is just profit.
Yeah, I'm a big way. If I need to make some equipment, if I want to make some equipment upgrades, I always, if it's not necessarily necessary. Yeah, I don't know. I lost myself, but yeah, man, I always wait till I get those jobs that just kind of validate it as far as a lot of what you said, just let them pay for it. I was the same way, Mike. I had a 19-inch classic for the first couple of years, and then last year we did a pretty big concrete job, and it was probably, I don't know, 20,000 square feet of concrete at a residence. And I actually borrowed a little big guy from a friend. So we ran the little big guy in a 19, was it a 19-inch? Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. I don't know. Anyways, I bought the mini Mondo. Because I had borrowed the little big guy to try on a job before to see if I wanted to buy one for that job. And I just wasn't that crazy about it. I wasn't that crazy about it. And because I was going to buy it off the guy. It was a good deal. I just wasn't that crazy about it. And then I was like, might as well go ahead and bite the bullet. You know, it was about a $5,000 job. So I bid it, I bought it. We used it, and I used a little big guy at that job because I still had it. And it was just daylight and dark difference in the comparison on using them. And which was really nice because I had like another 50,000 square feet concrete job like a couple of weeks later. So it all just made sense to do that. So I
Action
like
Power Wash.
I like to make
That's the
upgrade.
question. Yep. Action Power Wash has asked the question, have you and Squirt had a chance to spray tandem? And yes, we did on 2 jobs today. The first job, she did all the concrete and I washed the house. And in the second job, I soaked the house. She came behind me and rinsed. And I absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. You can watch that video that was loaded just this afternoon. So Action Power Wash, you can watch that video.
Yes. Charles says he loves the Mini Mondo and the Classic, but the 24 is his favorite. Charles, that's kind of on my radar to buy, is to upgrade to the 24 for the 8 gallon instead of the 19. But I'm kind of thinking I like the Ground Force, but I'm kind of thinking of doing the what's it called? Aqua Pro. It's the floater version. That's kind of on my radar that I may upgrade to sooner. Yeah.
Eric said, Mike, that was not Action's question. Have you and Squirt had the chance to water spraying? Thank you, brother. Thank you. I do apologize. That wasn't even the question. Have you and Squirt had to chase water while spraying tandem? Thank you, brother. I really appreciate you clarifying that. Okay, so that's a great question. Today, on our first wash, we showed up with 330 gallons of water. I know that because I filled up before I left the house. We had 330 gallons of water when we got to the job. The first thing she did was hook up to water. I do not have a water filter or a
float valve.
What do you call it, Jeremy? I don't have a float valve. Thank you. And so before we could begin washing, it was already overflowing. When we got done washing the entire house and all the concrete, we had 250 gallons of water left. So the answer is no, we have not had to chase water yet. I appreciate that clarification and the great question. Thank you. Hudson float valve, yes.
50,000 square feet. I think there might be a video on my YouTube channel of that one. It was a residence. It was a big residence with a lot of garage, a lot of concrete. It took days to do the entirety of the job. I'm talking like it took like 4 days to wash everything and the concrete. And it was just massive. And we did not chase water running a 10 and an 8 at all. I'm talking it had the best water pressure I'd ever seen. I mean, you're talking, we were trying, yeah, I mean, it was great.
Yeah, I don't know, Jeremy. I almost never chase water. A lot of guys talk about chasing water. I don't work in a lot of rural areas. Most everything I wash is in the neighborhoods. You see the homes that I wash, and that's just by luck of the draw. That's where I'm at, and so I'm rarely chasing water, and I'm very, very grateful for that.
Right. Yeah, you do have the convenience of being in more developed areas than some of us. Now, I will say, talking about chasing water, if any of you guys seen the Woodhouse bar and aluminium that I did, that was running a P40 and rinsing with a 10 gallon. and we never chased water on that. So you're talking 21 gallons a minute, sometimes going, and the water never dropped. And we were out in the country, and I asked this guy, I said, "Why do you have, your water pressure is killer, man, because you're up on an elevated hill." He's like, "Oh yeah, I ran 1.5 inch piping all the way up." I was like, "Oh, you ought to not have no
Wow.
water piping, you didn't spare no expense on that."
Right.
He's like, "I
That's
only
a
got it
fact.
turned to like 90."
So
I
again,
have,
it's a mindset.
oh,
Thank
are
you,
we still
Michael.
there?
Thank you.
Are we there?
I am here.
My
I
screen
got
just
you,
totally
buddy.
flashed. It just flashed off.
Yeah, we got you. I see you loud and
Yeah.
clear.
Hey, what was the question about the customer and the water? So, hey, here's what happened the other day. I sold the job to a guy. He's like, "You're going to bring your own water, right?" And I'm like, "No, I'm going to use yours." He's like, "Oh, the last time the guy did it, my bill was crazy." I was like, "I'm pretty confident." This was with a garage and a house that, your bill might go up like $5. 10 at the most would be outrageous, I feel like, to wash a garage and a house. I mean, probably like $3, really. But I said, "Yeah, I can run back and get it, but it's $200 every trip for the water." He's like, "Oh no, you can just use mine." That's always my thing.
Yep. The tune changes a little bit when you start throwing numbers out there.
Yep. Really does.
Last week, Jeremy, you might remember last week that I mentioned that just that day, a gentleman reached out to me, a previous customer, and he said, "Would you give me a price on my driveway?" And it was nearly 13,000 square feet. I think I priced it at 22 cents a foot, and it came up to $2,743 or so. It was $2,700. And
Yeah.
so I had no context for an answer last week. However, this week he responded later after giving the estimate. He responded, and he in the text he says, "Did you accidentally double the price?" And he said, "That seems extremely high." And this was my response. I said, "You are correct. That is extremely high." I said, "But no, I did not accidentally double the price. That's the going rate." Now keep in mind, guys, this was it wasn't just like a parking lot. It was a long, narrow driveway uphill, and it would have been an all-day job. And he was willing to do it for half price, $1,400, $1,350. But he wasn't willing to do it for the $2,700. What
Yeah.
would you guys have done? Would you have said, "Well, I'll go ahead and do it"? I'll do it for half price? Or would you come back at an elevated number, or would you stick to your guns at the $2,700 price? I'm interested, very interested.
Hey, by the way, do you have, I'm not saying you, but you can answer it if you want. You don't have to, Mike. But anyone in the comments, for cleaning concrete, do you have, hey, 0 to 5,000 square feet, it's X amount per square foot? Anything over 5,000 or anything over 10,000, do you have different price breaks for the size of the concrete that you're cleaning? I do. That's just me.
We've had some good answers already.
Yeah.
Let's start right up here. Tommy Bain says you got to stick to your guns. If not, the next door neighbor will want the same price. Ooh, good point.
Yeah.
Bill says, I've done driveways that big for that in the past. I think he's talking about the 1500 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Ask if they're a veteran, give them a discount. Sticking to my price if that's far apart. I don't know what that means. If they're that far apart in the number. Yes, I see what you mean. Action Power Wash says maybe drop it to 20 cents. Yes, come down for commercial. I agree with that. No way, Mike. Stick to the price. You know your worth. Thank you, John. Yeah. Drop it to 23 and let that be your bottom dollar. I like that. I don't have a problem. I haven't seen anything I didn't like. Chris Ogletree says depends on what time of the year it is and how busy I am.
That's fair. That's a fair answer. I feel like. Find me in December. And I think I might have even told you that, Mike. I was like, hey, get with me in January or December.
Right.
You know. Yeah. Yeah, I think
Bill says I come off a few cents over 6,000, but otherwise it's the same amount for chemical, even more with it rising even more.
That's fair. Yeah.
It's over $1 million. I drop at 6 cents. That's nice, Facebook user.
Who is that? Is that you, Tony? Who is that? Who are you? Show yourself.
Jeremy, to answer your question, yes. So I don't necessarily have a written rule, but it has something to do with I'm going to have to chase water. Like, for instance, in this particular job, I don't think that I could have one spot and gotten water. I think I would have had to move my truck and gotten water at least 2 or 3 times on this job. So I don't think I can come down on my price and having to do that. But if I'm washing a driveway or a concrete area and I'm going to be at the location all day long, then yes, I'm willing to come down on my price. Huh. I've never heard of this one.
Oh.
Your mic is muted.
Yes. So you have that option in Marquette to you can even finance a wash, man, through Marquette. Hey, here's the answer to our million. Here's the answer to our 1 million square feet. Now it's all given. I know it makes sense now.
Sean Holderman.
Yeah. Actually, Sean, I need to text you here in a bit. I've come across something that I've never done before. I know you've probably done one last week or not that long ago.
I want to speak to this for just a second, Chase. I love your spirit, man. You said, I look at it like this: set your pride aside and take 2,300 as a reduced price. Where else am I going to make that in that day? Okay, so I want to speak to that. The last part is probably the most important part to your statement there. Where else am I going to make that in a day? Well, you can make it house washing. You can make it doing other jobs, pressure washing wise. I'm not saying necessarily that you can, but this isn't necessarily a pride thing. It would be if I'm struggling to pick up business, if my family's suffering, and I say, I know my worth, I'm not going to work less than this, yes, that would be prideful. But if you've got work coming in to actually take another job at a reduced price is not fair to your family because you're actually taking less. I hope that makes sense. I love your spirit. I know where you're coming from, and I do not disagree with you. But I think the last part of your statement there is the most important part. Where else am I going to make that in a day? If you can make that somewhere else in a day, then that may be the best route to go.
Right. It's boy, that's a good. I mean, also, I guess one way to look at it, and I'm sure some of you guys are this way. Do you have a daily rate that you want to make a day minimum? Can you give them that price? I mean, if it's within reason. I don't know. I mean, you think about it.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree. I don't disagree.
Let's see. 50%. Hey, Wild West says it, man. I like what he says here. You see that? It is. It is. I ain't always realized that, but I do realize that now. I hear an echo. Is that me?
Bill says I don't do daily rates. Depending on what it is that's being done, you could cut yourself very short. You're right.
No, yeah. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like there's a number that my business needs to make a day. I'm not saying doing it for that number, but let's just say, for instance, that you need a daily rate of $2,000 per truck or whatever, however you want to say it, and say the job. I'm not saying just this job, but just say a job comes in, and you're like at $2,200. And I don't know. I'm going to have to choose my words wisely because I'm from the country. The customer tries to talk you down to $2,000. Do you say, well, okay, well, $2,000. I'm giving him a discount. This is $2,000 that I didn't have. So, am I still making money? It's all what it says. It's all it all is reflective of your business and what you're happy doing, what you're comfortable making. So I guess it's just the answer is going to vary based off each individual's business. So
well, I have to be careful sometimes, Jeremy, and I want everyone to hear this. I have to be careful sometimes that I will throw out those videos, and I will, and even tonight throwing out that scenario. I want you to know I don't throw that out there flippantly as if to say I don't need the $1,500.
yeah,
I never want to come across because I love that response. That's why I said I think that's a valid response. When the one gentleman said when Chase said, you might have to swallow your pride. Again, I reiterate, I love your spirit. I think that's a valid point. So I want to make that clear that I don't want to ever did not that guy and ask. I didn't give him an additional discount. I had already given him a discount, and I explained that to him. I'd given him a discount, and I didn't give him an additional discount because at this point in time, by the grace of God, I have lots of work coming in. Now, again, if he had called me in July, you know how we have those July slumps, or if he'd called me in February, then I may have jumped on that. So I'm not for a second suggesting that I'm too good for $1,500. I'm just saying that at this point in time, it wasn't even about pride. It was about I could potentially make more than that in a given day, and of work that it was. I when it comes, if you ask me, would you rather house wash or concrete clean? I'm going to tell you, I'd rather house wash all day. Some guys would say I'd rather concrete clean. Well, that's just the difference. That's all that it is. So, not being prideful, absolutely love your spirit. I appreciate you very much. Here's a good one. Bill says, I would rather do a second house wash for the day and double my money rather than upsell gutter brightening to the first. $200 extra dollars isn't worth the time and effort when I could make $400 in the same time or less. Absolutely, all day long. Now, what about this, Bill? I love that. But what about the lady wants you to do the or there's this opportunity to upsell the gutter brightening? What if you were to say, I would like to do this and I'm willing to do it for $200 if you come back Saturday, or if I can come back on another day when I'm close and do that? Would you do that? That might be an alternative. You got that right. You got that right. You got that right. Actually, it's the fresh rinse of Dwell There.
You're
fresh rinse of Dwell There. Cha-ching. Cha-ching.
We need to get the drum set.
Well, guys, we're going to be bringing it to a close soon. Once again, as always, we really appreciate you guys hanging out with us. We just talk about pressure washing for an hour, and we always enjoy it. I hope that you do as well. You keep coming back.
Yeah.
Let's answer a few questions, and then we're going to pray and wrap it up.
Sorry, I'm having a side conversation with Sean.
Scott Blair says, I will always reschedule the upsell rather than upsell myself off schedule. That's great. Great way to put it, Scott.
Scott's an OG.
Scott's OG.
Yeah, Scott. He's been washing like 30 years.
Yes, he is.
Action Power. Thank you. We try to make it fun. Mike's funny. It's just all. This is Mike's show. I'm just here.
I did talk way too much tonight, Jeremy. I do apologize.
Well, I mean, what else is new? But anyways.
Dang it. Shapers, creepers.
I better calm down. I wouldn't get myself tore up here in my chest.
You don't want to do that, buddy.
No.
You don't want to do that.
Hey, Chase, we appreciate
Taylor
you.
Hayes says, do you offer to book it into a slower month for a lower price? That's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea in the least. I might text that gentleman back and say, I'll do it for $1,700 if you can wait till the middle of July.
That's probably that's not bad if that's what you want to
do. Yeah.
Not bad.
And then I'll put Michaela out there on the mini Mondo going up and down that driveway.
How many square feet was it?
All right, guys, we're going to bring it to a close. Let's see. It was just under 13,000 square feet.
Oh, okay. That's not that bad.
It's not that bad. It's the uphill incline that was getting me, and it was this narrow for a mile. Right, it was enough to get one car on forever. That was going to be the hard part.
You know what I found out about these driveways that slant is a floater is way easier than one with casters. Way easier.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Because at least if it starts to get away from you, just let out the trigger and set it down.
Yeah. You don't have to go chasing it.
I know.
And they rinse a lot easier too.
That's true. That's true.
They sure do.
Yeah.
So that's what I need to do, Jeremy. I need to reach out to this gentleman, and I need to say, if you'll wait till July, and it has to be a rainy day, and I'll do it for $1,700.
So TJ Mars says, "Why is July so slow?" Are you asking why is it so slow, or why is it so slow? I'm not. Maybe I read that wrong the first time.
Why is July so slow?
Vacations. I feel like school's starting back. Vacation. Money's being spent elsewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, and also taking consideration that right now everyone is beginning to step outside, and because of that, they're seeing their house. But we're washing all these houses. Come July, there's not as much work to do in terms of residential work, and people are tired of being outside. So they're not thinking. It's not the same mindset as they have right now. So right now they're thinking, I want to be out there. I want to clean my house. I want to get my gutters cleaned. I want my driveway washed. Come July, they're like, I don't even want to go outside anymore. So, yeah, I think that's why July, another reason why July is such a struggle. And by the way, that's why it's important to have a large portfolio, because the larger your portfolio, the more that you can push out some of this work. So for me, come July, historically, maybe it won't be like this year, but historically, July is still okay for me. It's seasonal customers. It's customers that I know I can call up and say, hey, it's time to get your house washed. And they'll say, okay, come on out. You can't rely on new customers necessarily in July, but your older customers, if your database is large enough and your portfolio is large enough, then you can rely on those during those slower months.
Yeah. I guess that's a good reason to have high volume book of business.
That's the high volume. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think so as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jeremy, have we had fun tonight?
I've had a good time tonight as we land the plane.
Bring her to a close. It's about 10 after. And we've been on for an hour and 9 minutes. I'm going to go to the Lord in prayer. We want to once again say thank you to everyone who's joined us tonight. We've had a great crowd and an interesting topic. How do we get our customers to pay for everything? Well, that's a great question. You just have to have a good mindset about that. Don't feel like you're ripping the customer off. Just understand when you go to McDonald's, you're paying for everything at McDonald's. McDonald's isn't fitting the bill for anything. You're paying for everything. And when you go to Walmart isn't fitting the bill for anything. You're paying for everything. And that's just the way that it works. And so it's called capitalism. We promote capitalism. All right. Well, let's go to the Lord in prayer. We'll pray for our respective businesses. We'll pray for safety. Pray for our families. I had a gentleman, Jeremy, reach out to me today and ask that we pray for his marriage. One of our fellow washers asked that we pray for his marriage. So I want to do that. And pray the good Lord will bless you in many, many ways. All right.
Absolutely.
With that, we will pray. Let's pray. Father, it is in the lovely name of Jesus that we come to you tonight, thanking you for your mercies and your grace that is showered upon us every single day. And no doubt that there are some who are a part of our group even tonight who are suffering in ways that they would never even open their mouth to admit or to share. But you know hearts, you know our desperate needs within each individual and respective life. So, Lord, we just give that to you and ask, Lord, your blessings upon every washer who's watching this podcast, whether it be live or as it is streamed and later they're watching. Father, would you do great and mighty things in their life? We do pray for that one particular washer who reached out just today to ask that we pray for his marriage. Lord, you know what's going on there. And if anyone can save this marriage, you can. And so we ask that you would do that. Then I had another washer reach out to me. We're having heart issues. They're having issues and they've been in the hospital recently. Lord, would you touch that washer? His family relies on him and they need him. And so we ask God you do great things in his life. And then, Father, as we wash, Lord willing, on a daily basis, may we be mindful of our testimony as Christians. When we're washing a house, may we be mindful of the fact that these people need prayer. And so, Father, may we pray for our customers every single day, that you'd bless them in many, many wonderful ways as well. And keep us safe. Thank you for my friend Jeremy. And thank you for your son, Jesus Christ. It's in his name we pray. Amen. Amen. All right, guys. God bless you all. Enjoy. We'll see you next Wednesday night.
Absolutely. Peace.
Peace.